Welcome back to the Think Strong podcast. Here we are. I'm back with some friends again. We've got Macca.
Back in the game.
And we've got Fresh as a very special guest.
What's happening?
How you doing today, mate?
I'm great.
Excited to be on our massive platform.
I'm actually really excited about that.
Ready to spit some bars.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's good. Macca's going to grill you with some interrogation questions, so we'll see how you hold up against them.
Let's do it.
Not too many.
You got the chocos ready?
Not too many deep questions. Let's start how we always start with guests. Who are you? What do you do?
My name is Fresh. Who am I? I am a man of many versions, and the version that I've brought to you guys today is just the guy who trains. Training has been a hobby of mine, and I've been very fortunate for it to become something that's been a profession as well, and that's crossed over into my professional life as a business consultant, and it allows me to see the playing field quite differently than most consultants would. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Yeah, nice. Let's talk a little bit. Well, we are a sporting platform.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit more about that first. Go back to kind of your younger days. Where did you start out? Was it track and field?
It was actually basketball.
Was it ball?
Yeah, it was basketball. I mean, I grew up in Memphis. I'm from Memphis, so most people know the U.S. as like it's big about sports, and basketball has been one of the number one sports, like basketball, football, and stuff like that. So at the age of 3, I was on my first basketball team, and there's like little videos and photos of me and jerseys bouncing. The ball's bigger than I am, and I'm bouncing the ball. I'm going up and down the court and stuff like that. Now, those are my earliest memories of sports, and then it sort of expanded. I mean, even at like preschool, I was Jackie Robinson. That was like my thing. So like baseball and basketball and all those sort of sports like that.
Nice.
Is basketball like the number one sport in Memphis? Would you say?
Yeah. Basketball and football. Like for sure basketball, because you can be seen. Like people don't see your face in football as much because you got a helmet on.
Okay, yeah.
So that's the sort of perspective.
So like the social side of it as well. It's like you wanna, probably not purely for that reason, but like if you're gonna do something and you wanna be like just social with the, I don't know, maybe the cool crowd, you try and push to be towards that. That's cool.
It's quite 100%. A cool
100%.
angle to look at it, even when you do get to like the top level.
Yeah.
So if you look at, say, like an NFL player, they do stuff off the pitch, outside of the pitch, to build their own brand more so. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like advertisement deals, this and that. Whereas like if you're a basketball player, you're just going to be, you are your brand because you're on show the whole time.
You got a face card.
Yeah.
And that's really like,
it's quite interesting.
Growing up, you know that.
Yeah.
As an athlete, you're like, all right, so even if I got, 5 points per game, 10, assists, rebounds, if I can get a triple, even any of those things, it's my face that people are going to remember. Even if we lose, they still going to go, oh, yeah, I remember you had that awesome layup or whatever. So
starting to build that legacy early on. We probably would have like had a similar thing, just like going to the schools we did in that playing football, just because like that's the popular thing there, and that's where your face is seen, and then probably when you start to recognize like your own traits, your strengths, your weaknesses, then maybe you tail off into slightly different things, which we know you did after that, right?
Yeah, that's what happened to me. Actually, I had a coach tell me, he goes like, hey man, look, you ain't gonna never be over 6 feet tall. And I was like, man, really? And he's like, yeah, dude, you're awesome. Like, we love how you play, etc. Maybe you should go this direction. And it was a hard pill to swallow. And I mean, at this time, I'm like 13. I've been balling for 10 years at this point in my life. And now I can't be Allen Iverson? Damn, okay, cool, all right. And the guys that I grew up around, like, they're all, like, this is like 6th grade. They're all like above 6 feet already. And I'm like, okay, this guy, he's saying some of the right things. Like, okay, cool, let's move on. And then track and field came into my life. And I didn't even think it was a sport, to be honest. I hadn't been introduced to it. And when I was introduced, the question that I asked was, people do this for fun? People run? Because in basketball, you only run suicides. Like, we run laps and we crash the board, and like running isn't something that you do to measure performance.
Just a necessary evil, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all disguised in there, isn't it, in the sport?
Yeah, it is. Disguised really well, actually.
So what was your event?
400 meter dash, 400 meter dash, long jump, triple jump, 200. I think I ran all of the events, actually. There's not one track and field event I did not participate in. It got to the point where I was even doing decathlon. And the reason why is because all of the sports I had done in my life, they carried over. Like, athleticism carries over a lot into track and field. And it comes to a head to where you're like, okay, where is this athlete most valuable? And looking at track, it's a points system. So the faster that I run or the further I throw, even if I don't win, over the track meet, we accumulate points. So even if we're not winning every race, but we're accumulating points. So that's a beautiful part about track. It's quite strategic. And for me, it was about, okay, well, if I can help really well in the field, so long jump, triple jump, those are my strengths. And then I can be a second leg on a 4x1 or a 4x2 or 4x4, great. Like, I can help the team. So as an individual, mainly I was looking at speed stuff. So like sprinting, jumping, because I can get the most amount of points, and then helping the team. If they need an additional leg on the 4x800 meter relay, cool, I'll throw my hand up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so good. I think we've discussed on the pod like loads of times about how having like general physical qualities like can go into your sport, but obviously like building those in your sport has taken them into track as well, which is like a really cool way to look at being a well-rounded athlete can help.
Yeah, we talk a lot about like the transfer of general preparedness into like things which, you know, are popular with the fitness community now, like Hyrox, CrossFit, all of these different things, and how that underpins it. But it's cool to see that like it was still underpinning it, even when it was, just something you were doing at school potentially.
Yeah, I mean, it actually would make or break if you went to the track meet or not. Like the roster, you would have to make the roster. There's a lot of things people don't know about individual sports. Like, oh, you did an individual sport, like you're gonna compete anyway. It's like, well, no, like I'm not on a team like that. It's like, it's not a 10-man roster. It's how did you perform this season, like in the training, and how did you perform this week? And are you gonna add value, or are you just gonna be lugging around gear?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, you can meet us at the track.
Yeah.
Your name's not on this list. We don't need you. And it's like, shit, that really makes you, I can cuss on this podcast?
Yeah.
It really made a part of your mind go, okay, when I'm training, I need to make sure these reps are quality, but then I also need to make sure I'm valuable to the team. So if I need to throw a fucking shot put, I'm gonna do my best to throw it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I think people overlook how cutthroat track and field is. Like, you have to make through trials. Like, there's times that you need to be within brackets. And yeah, it's like can be a little bit more political than like when people look at it, it's like, oh yeah, that person runs really fast. Do you know what I mean? But it's like they don't see all of the work behind it. They just see
so much work, man.
The 10 seconds to 30 seconds of work, what it is.
You do like so much work for the 10-second run.
Yeah.
And people underestimate the amount of work that goes into being able to run that fast.
I think as Bolt, said, it was like 8 years, trained 8 years just to set the world record.
For a couple seconds.
10 seconds,
yeah. It's mad.
Yeah.
It's wild.
That's cool. So what age was it that you actually transferred into that and started kind of fully getting integrated with teams, making cuts and having those hard conversations?
Yeah, around 12, 13.
Yeah.
Was when those conversations started to be had. And fair enough, too, because the school that I went to, like, basketball was the thing. It's like, yo, these guys they want to go to the NBA. Like, going to college to play ball at that time really wasn't a thing, man. Like, this is the era where people were still going straight out of high school straight to the NBA, right?
Okay, yes, that was like the genesis of that.
Yeah,
that era. That's interesting.
100%. And I was around these guys, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, I ain't on that level. Like, cool, let's.
Are you gonna name drop anyone?
Yeah, I will. I will. Actually, me and him, we were actually in the same marketing class for like years. It was crazy. So this guy named Tarico White, he missed the draft out of high school by 1 year. So he ended up going to Ole Miss. And it was just like, hey, go to Ole Miss, do your thing. He went for like a semester, and then they drafted him immediately after.
Yeah.
Right. So like that was really interesting to do.
Yeah.
Like to go to high school with an NBA player. You know.
So good.
You'll be more familiar with the American sports than me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, especially the names. I'm way off it. So you could say anyone to me and be like, yeah, I was training with this NBA player, this NBA player.
You can Google them though. You can Google them. You will see it. And, dude, the thing is, it's quite interesting to like kind of visualize that, because I'm like, even right now, I'm at my tallest, like 5'8.5", right? I'm in high school sitting next to it, literally just like this.
Yeah.
Sitting next to a dude who's like 6'6". But that was always the case for me, even when I ran track. Like the guys that I ran track with elite guys, man, and they was like 6'2", 6'4". And these guys, like when you, back to your question about making the cut and like performing just so I can go to the track meet, the guys that I was training with, their slow times were like some of my fastest times. And it was great because they made me better.
Yeah.
So knowing that I would be at school all day, hanging out with these guys, laughing, and going, man, the talent that they've got, I've got to work 2 times as hard because my talent in this arena is very different. And so showing up and going next to a guy, I was like, oh, bro, you're 49, you're jogging 49. I'm sprinting 49. I'm like holding on just to kiss sub 50 in a 400. But that was really like the healthy parts of that, I feel, in the community now, like it's coming back. But as far as like, I would just call us like weekend warriors. People no longer understand like you really need people like that around you because it gives you insights that you would never have.
Yeah.
For sure. I think you hear that a lot with sportsmen in general, which, have had to struggle from the get-go, basically. They're forced into this position where it's like, okay, I have to now learn more about my training. I have to understand the stimulus of what I'm doing. I have to understand the nuances of technique, strategy, all of this stuff, whatever it may be. You're forced into that stuff because because you maybe don't have the blessings that some of the other guys do if they've got, I don't know, bigger strides or just more naturally apt to that event.
Yeah, 100%. Like I can see it now, just doing like 200s and 300s with guys that was like 6'5".
Yeah.
And I'm on the track and I'm like, so 3 of my steps equates to almost one of yours, bro.
Yeah.
Like, how in the hell is this possible? But it's like, hey, one of the strategies or techniques that I learned is if you watch someone's feet, you can match their rhythm. So it doesn't really matter how long or short the stride is. Running is rhythm. So if I can match the rhythm, eventually I will catch you, especially if I can double time it. So that was that for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it works both ways as well, right? Like you said they were pushing you, but if you weren't snapping at their heels,
yeah,
they
like a little chihuahua.
They probably wouldn't. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like they wouldn't be getting any better either. So
absolutely.
Like, it works both ways there as well. Yeah. Cool. You got any more stories you want to share on track, or should we move forward into?
Man, you know what? My track career was probably the longest out of all of the sports that I did. And to be honest, like I ran at a high level from high school to amateur athletic union. I don't know how well that's known internationally. So AAU is a big sort of circuit for all sports, even football, even though it's not contact, but it's a big circuit for amateur athletes to be seen and to get stats, because the stats during school, like they're not the best stats. They're like practice stats, and you're using your school season to prepare for the AAU season. And you'll hear like guys like Kobe, LeBron, these guys, they got AAU teams, and those are the teams. That's like literally mini pro teams that scouts will go and watch. They will just go and watch them practice just to see who's up and coming or who's worth watching for the next season. So yeah,
that's cool. So is AAU like a umbrella, and then all of the sports are like within it, and it's like a what would you call it, like an association or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I guess in England we have that, but it's more independent. You'd have like a football academy, but then it would be like, that would be separate, and then athletics would have its own body.
Okay.
There wouldn't be like an overarching umbrella, but similar like concept.
That's what I was going to say, actually. I was going to ask kind of how things progressed for you after school, because we don't really hear much about like amateur sports in the US, because like you said, we've got a different structure, but we've also got individual clubs which will play in tiers below like the professional leagues, but it's chronological and it just goes down to semi-pro and things like that. So yeah, interestingly, there's a legitimate pathway that you can still get into, that you can still get scouted for, rather than it just dropping off. Because I would imagine like a lot of sports, probably after school, like a huge demographic just drop off as a result of not having that structure.
It's needed too, because some of the school programs aren't as robust. Like,
does it have an age limit?
No. AAU? Oh, well, yes, actually. So 18, 19.
Okay, yeah.
Is it cut off?
Because like people get drafted late and stuff too.
Yeah. So like,
do you know what I mean? So
then you can go USA.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah. So then the USA is another umbrella of sports. So if you're too old, you can go, oh, well, I'll just do USA track and field.
I know, still get like their stats and everything. Yeah. So that's cool.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you can start like, there's different age groups, so like sub bantam, young man, intermediate, etc.
Yeah, that would be more like semi-pro kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Like you got little 8-year-olds out here, like in AAU, and they're turning it up, and it's such a growth like process where they're getting groomed to become professional athletes.
Yeah.
And the way that it's quite advantageous is let's just say we go to a school, like all of us go to a school together, and the program just isn't as fit for us. And not saying it's not a good program. It might be good for Johnny and Ray, but for us three, it's like, yo, we really need someone that knows the game better than what we've experienced it at. And sometimes school programs don't have that ability to offer. And a lot of parents, they don't want their children around. And this is gonna sound really weird, because it's like, well, who are you to say, like, your kid can't play with my kid? And it's like, well, I need my kid to be in a position to where he's challenged and he's going to be around other athletes who are also thinking. So yeah, maybe I'll let my child come and compete underneath the banner of the school. But as far as training, and you get that sort of discrepancy, it's like, well, he doesn't train with the team, especially individual sports. It's like, well, it's an individual sport, and as an individual, this one needs a different sort of training. But I will allow him to train. And if they say no, well, you can. The great thing about track and field or any individual sport is you can compete unattached. And so I had a lot of that sort of stuff happening in and out of high school, where guys would be unattached during the summer, to where it was like, whoa, what team does he run for? And the guy would be like, oh, I'm running for myself. I train at this club, and it'd be like an exclusive club for athletes to just go and do all their stuff. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting dynamic to add into it. And out of interest, the amateur side of things, is there any like financials involved with that? Can you win money? Yeah.
Well, not as far as winning money. I think like for myself, we used to go to used to qualify for the Olympics, but the Junior Olympics.
Yeah.
So qualifying for the Junior Olympics was really good for your athletic resume. So then they can see, okay, this guy has been putting in work. As far as financials go, not really, not at this time. I think now, more than anything, if you're an amateur athletic union athlete, you could probably be getting sponsorship deals and stuff like that. But back in the day, it was more so like maybe, I don't know, like Lenny's, like, which is a sub, like a sandwich company, would go, oh, we will sponsor your team because they've won, runner-up 3 times in a row.
Right, yeah.
Like stuff like that.
Nice, yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But definitely after, like going to college, like that's why they came out with what they came out with now. I think it's called an NIL or something like that. But back then, kids would be really good at what they do, and you go to college, and you'd have all these different places wanting to give you money, wanting to give you cars, wanting to give you clothes, and like, because they know like you're a walking brand. If you use it, everyone else will want to use it. And it became sort of a thing like, oh shit, like that's illegal. And it's like, well, these kids, no one's giving them money or food or stuff like that. All they have is a full ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pays for the dorm and all this other stuff. But what about life? You know, they need other things. So the NIL became that.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's cool.
And what was the transition from then there? So we get into something slightly different after track and field?
Yeah, man. Like, college was cool. Like, I ran it in college. I redshirted my first year. And I had to understand the difference between, like, transitioning out of high school and AAU. Because AAU is, like, the next step as far as, like, collegiate track and field training. But as a college athlete, you're basically, it's your job to be an athlete, redshirt or not. So there's certain things you have to learn and how to grow into and out of, you know. And as a high school athlete, there's things that are acceptable. Like, oh, I was late to practice, like, by 5 minutes. Not in college. like this runs with or without you.
Yeah.
And if you want to be here, show up on time. If you don't want to be here, cool, just let us know. And you're letting us know by how you interact with us. So that was a big transition for me, going to two different colleges. Actually, my first college was Arkansas State University, and then I transferred back home to University of Memphis. And that coach, he was really, really interesting. And the team that we had was really good because my coach, like, you break off into specialists, and she was a kinesiology major, which was the major that I was taking up at that time. So we really worked out really well, and we filmed everything, and we went to literally, like, people go, oh, you gotta go back to the lab and look at stuff and watch footage. Like, we actually went to a lab, and she would put me on pressure plates, and, like, I would do plyometrics, and she would measure the force and all this stuff, and then we would go back to the track and go, oh, like, what's this? And I fell in love with the breakdown of the sport so much so after I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? Because I'm wired for performance, and I'm wired to break down how X plus Y equals Z. And then CrossFit came out. This is like, what, 2012, 13. And I took a liking to CrossFit because of where I came from with the track and field, lifting weights and stuff, the strength and conditioning. But the moment that I started doing the training, it just felt like strength and conditioning. And mentally, I was already burnt out from the track and field, strength and conditioning. And I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. What can I do? What do I like? And I remembered, like, seeing Arnold Schwarzenegger and all these guys, and I was like, oh yeah. I was like, you know, we used to do 21s, like, during the off season, you know, like, you know, we really every guy, like, in any athlete, you put them in the weight room, like, you have to remind them that they're not weightlifters.
Yeah.
Like, they're athletes. And I was like, oh shit, I can lift weights now. And that was the thing. I was like, okay, now I can really get after lifting weights. So yeah, bodybuilding caught my eye. And yeah, it was an interesting relationship that started.
Yeah, it's good. It's quite a nice transition into some bodybuilding chat. But yeah, I think most people get to I think we were talking about it the other day. It's like when everyone gets bored of their sport, they always kind of go back to bodybuilding. It's like a safe haven, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
It's like, you feel a bit beat up. Okay, let's go back to just doing chest.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. You're probably always trying to squeeze in, like, the extra bit of accessory work, bit of supplementary bodybuilding, just while you've got all of the other stuff going on. And then it's like, when you do finally stop, I can just create some environmental factors which are actually going to allow me to get stronger, put on some size without any interruption. Just like a little bit of a clear run is always nice.
Yeah. So when you transition from track into, say, bodybuilding, was it like a straight transition? Did you go like all in?
Or was it a gay transition?
I think it was a bit gay, to be honest. It was a bit gay, man.
Was it like, okay, let's get rid of the conditioning and go all in on muscle building for a bit, or did you still have a bit of both, like, there?
Yeah, I think with, like, any athlete who's been canonized to train and think and do certain things, the crossover would be a little difficult at the beginning, and that was me, because I naturally I just like running, right? And I had a little swimming in there as well in my high school career. So these were the things that I would just always do. So I was lifting weights, and then I would go to work, and I was a lifeguard. I'd be like, oh yeah, cool, let's go swim 500, whatever. And then I would go back to the weight room and be like struggling, and I'm like, why is it so hard, to do? And then as I progressed in the knowledge that I gained through just training and then reading, I'm like, oh, these actually don't go together like simultaneously. You have to. So yeah, it was quite of a colorful transition. But once I started putting myself in the right environment, like around the right individuals who were actually doing it and focusing more so on the muscle building properties, it was like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Like if we just do this one thing long enough, we'll grow. And that's the thing about bodybuilding that sucks, is the reward is much slower. We were just talking about it. Like I was doing overhead dumbbell squats. Like I don't do, that's like so far out of my depth, right? But it's been 3 weeks and the progress has been phenomenal from week to week to week.
Yeah.
Whereas in bodybuilding, like, dude, it's gonna take you years to see that muscle start to pop and to actually hang off the skeleton.
But if you lift weights, you get bulky, according to most people.
Yeah, that camp.
Cool. And with regards to like all of the other things that have to be in line to get some success with bodybuilding, was there much of a transition with your nutritional habits? Like I imagine you had things pretty much in order, so to speak, with your athletic
imagination.
performance. Well, yeah, I didn't have to stretch too far, but it's very much a possibility that not, because you do see some athletes which purely from their athleticism have never actually been challenged to like get their nutrition in order. So yeah, was it in order, or did it have to be much of a change to get into?
I was an athlete, so just kind of go back a little bit. During my AAU days, I was an athlete that my coach had to like grab Skittles from in Starburst.
Oh yeah.
Like, I got in trouble. I was also in band when I was in high school, and I got in trouble for having Starburst in my pocket, right? And the band director was like, "What are you doing with this?" And I'm like, "I got practice." You know what I mean? I'm like trying to get sugar in me.
Yeah.
And in college, we had a nutritionist come talk to us, and like when you're in college, you're just learning so much, man. And even though I was a kinesiology major, what we call it sports exercise science, unfortunately, the science didn't come into the end of the program.
Okay.
And I think that was so backwards. It's like I didn't start taking nutrition into the very, very end and learning about like what a carbohydrate was and what a simple sugar and a complex. Like I didn't know any of those things. So during that time, I just ate pasta.
Yeah.
As much as I could. And protein wasn't even a thought, right? Other than at the end of our resistance training sessions, like, protein shake, drink it. So the crossover, when I was lifting weights to gain muscle, I really had a hard time figuring out, like, how much to eat, how much not to eat, when to eat, how to eat it, how to cook it, why am I cooking it this way? And then even just the quality of the food. And when I did my first bodybuilding show, bro, you should have seen the crap, that I was doing, and like thinking that it was gonna get me diced. I was like, I want to be shredded. It's like, no, bro.
Yeah. I was the same when I was playing like full-time football. It was just the knowledge around nutrition was so bad. It's like it was just like diet. And you were just like somewhere in one of them lost. And they were like, no carbs. And then like the day before a game, they'd be like, eat banana sandwich. It's like a massive rush.
The access of information was just so much more limited compared to now, wasn't it? And I remember being exactly the same, like trying to play rugby at a decent level and then like eating as little carbohydrates as possible at the same time.
It's funny because like energy system they've known the knowledge about the energy systems for ages.
So long, like
the fuel sources.
That was gatekeeping, bro. That's all it really was. Like,
that's the other thing.
They were
big food, it was. affecting things. So probably filtered down into the sports science world as well.
Yeah.
I can remember though, strangely enough, doing like carbohydrate calculations and stuff when I studied sports and exercise science, doing the calculations, doing the like the energy balance for, you know, people in different vocations and sporting habits and how that would relate, and then the nutritional advice at the other end wouldn't correspond to all the calculations you've done. So it's funny, but no, it's interesting that that's what was exposed for you then.
Yeah, I found it quite interesting too, because like from an athletic standpoint, I was like, well, I've always been performing without this. And then once I figured it out, like as a bodybuilder, the performance was enhanced by 10x, 20x, hell, you know, and like the way that I would recover, the sleep that I would get, how I would feel in the gym. So I battled with that too, because I would go back and go, man, what would it have been like, you know, on those days where I struggled?
I often think,
you know what I'm saying, when I was running and
could have run
jumping.
sub 10.
Yeah, right, 100%, dude. Like,
although Usain Bolt did have play of chicken nuggets.
And then that was also the thing, you know, like I'm in high school, 08, 09, my senior year, watching Usain Bolt eat chicken nuggets. I'm like, so what's really they're literally gatekeeping information. And then now we're in the age of free info. And it's like, oh man, you have really no excuse not to be as optimal as you can be.
Yeah.
I think another kind of cool caveat that goes with that, kind of on the chicken nuggets point as well, goes to show how much that kind of 80-20 rule applies across the board. And having the majority of things in order will take care of so much. And, you know, the small kind of breaks off piste are actually not going to have much of an impact, providing you have everything else in order. Not that like anyone should really take that as gospel and be following the chicken nugget protocol before they
them chicken nuggets probably just topped them off though. Like that was probably one of the 10-20% that we saw, but then the other 80 of him actually dialing it in, eating the right food, sleeping right, drinking right. Those chicken nuggets was like, hey, I'm hungry. I just need something on my stomach right now.
Yeah. But that's the poignant thing that everyone remembers as well. So, yeah, cool.
Yeah, so good. A little bit more on bodybuilding. Obviously, like track and field, the environment that you're in when you're training. It's like, okay, barbells, you're using force plates and testing and this. And then like a very different kind of gym environment that you move into.
Very
Do you know
different.
what I mean? Like baggy t-shirt, hoodie, headphones on. Don't look at me, I'll kill you.
It was.
You know, like, how's that? Like, it must have been so different changing from
very
one
different,
environment.
very, very different. Especially too because I started in Memphis. So my first show ever was the Dexter Jackson Classic, and I remember like sitting on the ground in the corner, and Dexter Jackson walks in, and I'm like, whoa. And I said to him, hey man, what I gotta do to get like that? And he was like, just keep going. I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm like, damn, like this is, I've been going. Like,
it's kind of inspiring, but at the same time, not. It's like,
damn, just keep going, right? And when I moved from the States to Australia, that really changed the game, because now I'm really like America is full of athletes, so everybody like still kind of like trying to hold on to their glory days. So when you're in the gym, you see all kind of shapes and sizes of people. Australia, it's different, man. Like bodybuilding really, it's really happening more in front of your face. Whereas in the US, it's like, where are all of the real bodybuilders? You have to search for them. In Australia, you walk into a gym, this is a bodybuilding gym for sure. Like you walk in there, it's full of supplements. This is the first time I ever saw a gym that sold supplements. It was in Australia. I was like, this is wild. Like, they just got subs out here like this. And then you go into the floor. It's all like hammer strength stuff. It's all specifically made for you to build this muscle group. And the people in there, like you said, they got the hoodies on, they got the headphones on. Like, the music is still blasting. There's mirrors everywhere. They got the down light or the anabolic lighting. You know what I mean? It's like, okay. And I'm like, damn, this is crazy. Then the thing that really made me open up my mind to bodybuilding was they had posing rooms. They had rooms specifically for posing. And I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be here. Like, And so, yeah, man, that environment really shaped a lot of my attitude around how I was going to become the bodybuilder that I knew I could become, which it has a positive and a negative. For me, that negative was still a positive. You know, it was a lot of what I went through as a bodybuilder was very dark, but that was so positive for me because I'm like, yeah, like this is the only way you can look like this is you have to go through a place that a lot of people won't just put their hands up to say, hey, look, I want to do this. And a lot of that didn't marry up with my natural personality. Like naturally, I'm bubbly, I'm happy, I want to hang out, let's kick it, whatever. But then as an athlete, it's like, well, dude, if you want to be like this guy, you can't be like these guys, all right? They're your general bodybuilders, like your day-to-day bodybuilders. They catch up with each other, they hang out, they go get sushi. Me, it's like, we're not going to go get sushi after this. We're reliving the session that we just had. And if we miss something, we're doing a U-turn. And we're going back to the gym. And we're redoing that shit. And then if someone comes into the space and they're talking to you, you don't even hear them. No one's here. It's just you, barbells, and creatine. And that was pretty much the mindset.
Yeah. It's still like some solitude in that like kind of mindset that you have to get to the top, but in a totally different environment. How many times did you compete? If you can remember.
Yeah, dude. Oosh, over 10.
Yeah.
Upward.
Were they all like a peak as well? Like sometimes I know that people will have like maybe like 2 or 3 shows kind of lined up, and it would be like you bring like a version to this one, and then you kind of build on that into the next show, and then you look to peak at just like for practice.
Yeah,
like
I think I got really lucky in my career too, and like that numbers compared to a lot of like top bodybuilders would be low, because like a lot of guys want to run the gauntlet, and in the US you can run the gauntlet quite easy because there's shows every weekend, whereas in Australia it's not like that.
Yeah, that's not loads, is there?
Yeah, so like I ran the gauntlet, and my little gauntlet was like in the US. I was like, oh yeah, I'll do these 2 shows and knock it out. Like, ooh. And then when I got to Australia, I was like, I'll jump into a show. Like, And then I figured it out. I was like, oh shit, they don't have that many shows, right? But you don't want to peak in those first couple of shows. You want to like use it strategically as a roadmap to go, all right, cool. Like, this is what we brought in this show. What can we bring in the next show? And so
sorry to interrupt. How much do you? Obviously, like the judging's always different, right? 'Cause it's based on basically their opinion, and like the standards that they have.
It's quite interesting.
It's interesting. How much do you take from like their advice going into the next show, or is it just like your coach looking at you and being like, okay, I think we can bring more of this. Do you know what I mean?
To be honest, like I hate judges, bro. Like, I don't really fuck with judges like that on a bodybuilding panel.
Yeah.
Unless they're a bodybuilder. And I can say this because I've been a bodybuilding judge. And even when I'm judging them, I'm like, I'm actually in the sport of judging. I'm like, hey, hold on, wait. Don't dismiss them yet, because there's some stuff we haven't seen. And so depending upon who's on that panel, like a lot of the times in my career, it's gonna sound real arrogant, I ain't even ask for feedback. Like a lot of times, I'm like, I won.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of what I was like trying to get at there. Cause I'm like, it's very like just off their opinion.
Yeah, like why am I asking you and like you're overweight? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you wasn't in the gym with me. Like what they say, you wasn't shooting with me when I was in the gym. You wasn't in there when I was crying, breaking down, trying to make sure I meted your standards. I met your standards.
Yeah.
You wasn't there. So
I always wonder like how they get to that position. Like are they like
money?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's weird. It's just like, do they go through a process where like, okay, these are the judging standards
it's twofold.
That you're looking for, like the shape or...
I put a lot of money in the sport as far as like, I've been here watching the sport grow, helping the sport grow. Great, cool. Like you've got an eye for it. It's like a music, someone who does a music executive. Like they don't create music, but they have an ear for it. And I respect that. Like, cool, you have an eye for physiques. You've been around them. Great. And then the other way is you've had a journey at some point in your heyday. and now your heyday's over. So you're still kind of far from that. So it's changing now. The sport's kind of changing now, where, like I said, I was a judge at a show, and I'll continue to judge shows, but I will get further and further away from being in the trenches. So when I'm judging someone, I need to be as objective as possible, and sometimes it's very hard.
Yeah, that's
kind of like the same question as to why is Piers Morgan on American's Got Talent? Like, same thing, isn't
Right.
it? No, not really skin in the game of the same thing, but they've got the responsibility of make or break for something. But yeah, like you say, how to be subjective with something which is so opinionated is probably a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very tough.
But more so a tough one to take feedback from.
So I've been to a few shows just to watch. And
it's interesting, hey.
And then they're like bringing out, they're like, okay, number 12, step forward. And then they like tell them to move to the right, and you're just like, they're not as good as them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're there watching, but you're just judging as well. You're basically doing the same job as the person that's just on the panel. But not getting paid for it.
Yeah.
You're watching it, you're just like, no.
The last show that I was able to judge, I actually like called the girls back. All right, oops, I just gave it away. But I called the girls back. I was like, this is interesting because when it came to the category that I need, like that I do, judging it for me, I was like, I don't even know if I want to judge this category because I'm going to be so hard on them. Whereas when it came to judging like bikini, etc., there were things that I could see that stood out as far as like, you know, hamstring tie-in, full muscle bellies, depleted, this, that, and the third. And they was just like, oh, good, like roll them off. And I'm like, hold on, wait, they've worked really hard to get here. Like, I do understand the fact they have put so much effort. And you guys are not looking at this person because there's so many of them. And that call it changed the layout of the stage and go, oh, actually, Fresh, you're right. We haven't seen all of them. I'm like, no, not at this angle. So they brought them back out, and like he said, it's like the crowd can pretty much call it and be like, hold on, wait a minute, what about these people? And I think as a judge, we owe the athletes that sort of objective sort of view of like, oh yeah, you might like this bikini, you might like this color on this guy's shorts, you might like his attitude and his persona, but what about the stuff that actually matters?
Yeah. I think it's a really interesting topic.
Yeah, it is.
Let's just take a quick pause there. It's nearly 20 past. Are you good for time?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll carry on. They can edit it out. I've been getting to do loads of pauses recently. Should we go on to Hyrox and stuff?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ooh.
Cool. Yeah, so bodybuilding, a nice little segue into another change of sport.
Yeah, man.
Hyrox is obviously on the rise. We met here in Bali. But yeah, tell us a little bit more about that and how you've been transitioning into the training. And
it came at a really good time because all of the bodybuilding preps that I have ever done, the last 6 weeks, we always revert back to like metabolic conditioning style workouts. That just gives me the best response. Like I've only had a couple of years in my life, in my bodybuilding career, where I only did like steps and like the Stairmaster, and they live by that shit. But for me, I'm like, yo, I'm an athlete. I need to move. I need to groove. I need to feel that power. And the last show I did, it got so good. You know, like the metabolic conditioning stuff just got so good. And I was like, man, I can't see my life without this. You know, like I need to lose weight so I can do more of this. And as I transitioned out of the bodybuilding season and going like back into my reverse diet, the reverse diet for me was like, all right, bro, so we've been going without for so much time, and now you've got to have the discipline and the self-respect to not eat everything in sight. So that's probably been the biggest journey in bodybuilding that a lot of people won't speak about. And for me, I finally conquered it. And I think that's really why I was in the sport too, to start conquering parts of myself that was difficult to conquer, and transitioning out of that and seeing Hyrox. Every time I saw content I was like, man, these guys are doing what I like to do for fun. Like, oh my God, I'm missing out. That's the first time I've ever experienced FOMO. And transitioning out of 5 sets of 15 and shit like that, and chasing the pump, actually been pretty easy, man. Like, that's the reason why I came to Bamboo, because I was training at Muscle Beach. So environment is everything. If I want to be an athlete, I need to be where athletes are at, or a hybrid athlete, I need to be around hybrid athletes. So it was so easy, man, to go to Bamboo, jump into the Hyrox classes, be swole as fuck, you know what I mean? And like literally like doing burpees and wall balls and like dying through the process and going, oh yeah, I remember that rush. I remember that feeling. This is exactly why I'm doing this. And it got to the point to where someone actually said to me like, oh, like doing it like that, you would never do a Hyrox. I was like, that's the shit you don't say to a guy like me unless you want to see me get fired up.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Yeah. I remember very clearly, like your first class.
Mm.
You was wearing boots.
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy's come from a bodybuilding gym.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was like, we met and I was like, oh, how you doing? You're like, oh, it's my first class. And I was like, mate, it's going to be pretty intense. Just take it easy and kind of find your limits. Like we talk about this a lot, but doing like more high intensity work here is different with the environmental factors like the heat and everything's like not even like, okay, do some maybe like a Hyrox Metcon inside a gym with aircon. It's going to be hard, but outside in the open is different. But seeing like where you've come from there, because that was like when you were just starting to transition, right? Dipping your toe in.
Yeah.
To now taking up the whole gym with your workout and flying around and
unapologetically.
Yeah. It's been good to see, but yeah, it's been nice. And
thank you.
do you feel like you built your base pretty quickly? Like we chatted a bit before we were on air about like having that base anyway.
Yeah. I feel like the base that I had, it came back relatively quickly, but the base that I have isn't there. Like there's this part of me that knows, like I ran at 800 meters in like 2 minutes, 2 seconds at the age of 17, right? And that's slow. But like right now, to me, I'm like, damn, that's so fast, right? I ran sub 50 in the 4. So like the base that's being built, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see where that is and how I can get to it. It's just gonna take so much more
Yeah, but that
time.
18-year-old frame didn't need as much oxygen as those muscles do now, mate.
And I'll probably never have that again. Right?
Yeah.
But I think I'll have a version of it.
Yeah.
Like when I do the workouts, like you ask me like, what do you feel like in those workouts and like taking up the space? And I'm like, man, to be honest, I feel like the space is taking me up. I'm like, I'm in those workouts and I'm actually thinking to myself, what the fuck am I doing? Like, how am I even doing this? But then when I sit down, I like reassess everything. I was just talking to my coach yesterday. Shout out to James. James Newberry actually is my coach at the moment. Yeah. And he's a killer athlete. And some of the conversations that we had yesterday, and he's like, man, you get it. You know, it's like, it's not about what's happening right now. It's about what we're building towards. And that's kind of where everything sits for me. It's like, okay, cool. Like as a hybrid athlete, like that I'm transitioning into, you have a different frame. This frame requires so much more oxygen. So now you have the mind has to change. I still have that mind from when I was 18, 20, 21 that's saying, hey, we could do this. But now it's like, hold on, wait. Really transferring from 21 to 35 and going, hey, we ain't 21 no more. We don't weigh 70 odd something kilos. Like you 90 kilos, bro. You have to move like that. And I think a lot of my background intra and post bodybuilding, like I tried like boxing and stuff like that, helped me realize like, okay, this body has to move differently. Like, and it's not a bad thing. It's like you have now more power. So like measure that up mentally before you physically use it, because it could cost you a lot of time.
I think, yeah, that's interesting. Like, not only are you comparing yourself mentally to like what you previously could have done athletically, what you're asking yourself to do now with pushing towards Hyrox is a slightly different discipline. You're training yourself to be working for a longer period of time, admittedly still at a high intensity, but not the intensity that you'd be running a 400 or an 800 in. And although you're trying to probably still get to like your most athletic form that you can get to now, you are always going to compare yourself to what you thought was your most athletic form in your past, even though you were training for a different thing. So it's like having that clarity of mind to also think like, I'm preparing myself in a different way. I need to compare myself in a different way as well.
Yeah, that's really true.
So good. I think one thing that I always say to Az is that when I was like, I did Hyrox, then I had a bit of time off, and then I'll be like, yeah, okay, I'm ready to hurt for 12 weeks. To like mentally like preparing myself to like, because I know like how fast I can run and the training that needs to go into it. But it's like, okay, I need to, you can tick along and train hard, but when you need to peak, you have to go to dark places when you're there. And it's like, okay, I was like, yeah, I'm ready to go for 12
But you was a footy athlete, right?
Yeah.
So like that really crosses over really well. I think any person that's been an athlete at a higher level understands the psychological area.
Yeah, but sometimes when you're not there, knowing what you got to do to get back there is
it can be.
You got to have that switch straight away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to have someone say something to fire you up, or like you got to do it yourself to switch your mindset. To get
that might be the hardest thing for me at the moment. It's like I'm training by myself.
Yeah,
and like there's parts where I'm like, I know there's more. How do I get it? So that's the journey that I'm on now. I'm looking to fire, and that's bamboo actually gives me that to a degree. And then I think I'm going to have to do something different at some point to get that. So if there's anyone out there that want to train, like, come roll with me.
How do you find the humidity in bamboo and in Bali in general for training?
I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm kind of sick like that, though. Like, Memphis is humid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it reminded me of home. And anytime we would have went to, like, we used to have the Junior Olympics up north in, like, Detroit and shit. And like blazing these guys, bro. Like, you're like, bro, you dying? Like, you gasping for air? We running 100-degree heat. Well, it's like 42 degrees Celsius, right? And it's humid.
Yeah.
So going up north and running would be like a blessing for us. But I will say it is difficult. I'm not gonna act like it's just easy and breezy. It's very difficult, man.
It's a cool tool, I think, to be, like you said, to be able to like go to a cooler environment and then potentially like flex your tolerance for those uncomfortable conditions. But like physiologically, I do feel like it limits you in reaching intensity sometimes.
Definitely, man.
At that like top 5% intensity, when you need to touch it, it can be hard to get.
And you have to be very smart. You have to be very, very smart about what your body can and cannot do in those moments. Otherwise, you know, it can just ruin the entire session. And then you won't progress the way that you're meant to progress. Myself and James really digging into that recently. It's like, hey, Fresh, it's if you need to pull it back by all means necessary, because it's not worth, you know, the junk that's gonna be created from trying to hit these intensities. And if you can find a place where you can hit these intensities by any means necessary, like, go there, because we need your body. It's less ego. Like, people, oh, my ego is so hurt because I can't hit this time. But no, we need your body to be able to hit this time. So go somewhere where you can actually hit it, feel it, be in an air-conditioned room, allow your body to be looked after, because you don't need your heart rate up just for the sake of it being up. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like all of the fallout that comes off the back of, you know, those things where you do just let the ego push you there, then you've got to pick up the pieces for the rest of the week or whatever it may be.
Yeah. If you have a bit more time. There's one thing I wanted to touch on with that both of you actually do, but we spoke about it briefly before, Fresh, about like running being like overlooked as a skill that you need to develop.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? We spoke about like doing your running drills before you train, like Az does his, you do yours. Do you remember I was saying like, people just looking at you like, what the fuck are they doing over there? Like, they don't get it. They don't get like doing an A walk and then doing an A skip and then a B skip and then like pogos, and they're just like, fuck are they doing? Do you know what I mean? And I think it's really overlooked. Like yeah, okay, you can develop your running gait just by doing running skills. Like, it's still a skill that can be trained. But yeah, we were chatting about that before, weren't we?
It's vital. Even just from October, November, jumping into those Hyrox classes and then fully committing in the new year to doing a Hyrox and going, all right, now we have to strip it all the way back fundamentally and do all of the basic stuff if you want to survive. And then if you want to, thrive and perform, you really got to do all the tiny little things. So A skip, B skip, C skip, karaoke, all that stuff, if you ain't doing that and you're running, if you're not doing that at some capacity and you're running and you're guessing like, why am I not running better? That's why. You can't make soup without water. So, you got to have that. And for myself, it's been amazing, man.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We could tell just by watching you run, it looks like you're gliding.
Man.
Even on those woodways. Yeah, it's noticeable. Like it's noticeable the people that have coordination when they run versus the people that don't. Even though like to the naked eye might not, look very different. Just that power output and the how that spans out across a longer distance it is massive. And when you talk about things like leaking power, efficiency, movement economy, and how that works towards the final result, massive. Even probably for something like CrossFit. And as the level continues in Hyrox, the level continues in Hyrox, you probably see that the people that have not only the best of running ability but the best running economy are gonna start to thrive in that as well.
You just touched on something really, really important, the leaking power. Like you can leak power running so easily, man, because people they're trying to do things that you don't necessarily need to do in running. And that's, I think, why sprinting is very important, because it teaches you proper form, but it also teaches you when you don't need that form. Like
when to relax.
Like power through the arms and the mid torso. Yeah, okay. If you're running a 100, 200, and parts of a 400 and parts of an 800. Anything past that, which is Hyrox dominantly, okay, etc., dude, you need to relax. You need to use more of your glutes. You need to use less of your arms. You need to make sure your calf muscles are, and you need to be able, and that's one of probably the best things about bodybuilding is my mind and muscle connection. So when I'm running and I'm truly fatigued and the economy is starting to show up, it's exposed, I can tell myself, all right, calves, switch on, like push through the foot, push through the gastrocnemius, use your arch, use your toes, man. Like these are things that you are supposed to use in running, but a lot of people can't see that sort of stuff. They don't have that depth of the knowledge of the anatomy. So they're just literally they're flailing around. And I'm like, you're losing out on so much, even in your face, you're losing so much energy.
Yeah. People will say like, give them an A walk to do, which is basically just an A skip in fucking slow motion. But they're like, I feel like an idiot doing it. I was like, well, you look like an idiot when you run.
Yeah,
like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, your running is like fucking causing you so much unnecessary like energy expenditure.
You need to lunge before you squat, and you need to crawl before you walk.
It's like
the same.
Yeah.
Cool. Interesting stuff. Anything more that we want to touch on before we wrap up?
I think we could be here for hours, but
yeah, we could.
Yeah, it's very open-ended, isn't it?
It's been great to have you on, mate.
I am racing soon. I think in about 2.5 weeks, I'll do my first race.
Go.
Yeah, so that's really exciting, and I think that for any person that's out there, so I'll look at this one here. Any person that's out there that's thinking about doing a Hyrox, you've never done one. Even my bodybuilders, like I think I'm literally on a path right now to like expose the bodybuilding myth of like bodybuilders can't do sport. That's not true. And if you want to increase your health as well, like start looking after your cardiovascular economy in all kind of ways. But also remember, as an athlete, you don't have to limit yourself. Right. And I think that's the beautiful thing about what we do here in Bali, especially at Bamboo. There's no limitations on what can be done. And so, yeah, just having that open mind, having that frame of when you are around guys like yourself, man, like you guys have really been quite instrumental. I don't know if you know this, but quite instrumental in what I'm doing right now as far as an athlete. So I really do appreciate that a whole lot.
It's cool to hear, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see how you get on.
Yeah, some wise words to leave.
We might have to send an invitation to C-Bum and put you head to head with him in a Hyrox.
Yeah, that's true. So
he's transitioning as well, right?
He's doing some vertical jumps, so you never know what's
It's a lot of bodybuilders transitioning at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've just been quiet about mine. And I think gangsters work in silence. That's it.
Yeah, we'll see if you get on the podium, and then you'll break the silence, no doubt.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, for sure. Give me some time.
Rightly so, though. Nice one. Sounds good. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed the podcast, please show us some support, share, like, subscribe, all those good things. We're still trying to push it on the YouTube. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. See you in the next one.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.